The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for attending our webinar for what's coming up in Dynamics CRM 15. My name is James Snyder. I am the account rep here at Affiliated Resource Group, and I'm here with my teammate who will be leading the presentation, Stephen Jennings, who's our CRM lead. Excited to show you some new cool features within the CRM 2015, and of course go over all the product enhancements, which we'll kind of run through here, our order of the actual demo as we go through this. And again, as usual, we really encourage your feedback, so if you have any questions, feel free to submit that through the GoToMeeting, and we'll review those as we go. But I will go ahead and hand it off to Stephen, and we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, James. Okay, so again, today these are the areas we're going to cover. We're going to go over the guided sales process and the enhancements, the product changes. We will cover phone and tablet support. Really can't demo that for you guys today, but we'll talk about it. We'll do some case management, talk about some new features. Search, forgot to add it on the agenda, sorry, but we'll talk about the new global search. We'll definitely give you a demo, and if you have any QA questions. So, all right, so for those who are familiar with the guided process in CRM 2015, it was very robust. You know, it allowed you to go from leads to opportunities. You had your stages, you had your steps, but it had some limitations. So one of the things that they did improvement was like maybe, for example, you have a specific division or a product within your organization that was something that you wanted a different process to go through. So now what Microsoft's done in 2015, it allows you to have different guided processes based off of data that's in the sales process. So if you're selecting a specific product, hey, I grabbed this product, guess what? Now based off this product, I can build a complex tree based upon that. It also has added the AND statement, which for those who have done it before, it was very specific to an OR statement. So you couldn't say I want this and this. It was always one or the other. You had to develop a lot of processes. So those who have several of them or are interested in changing the flow of it based off a product, the new sales process has that. And we'll kind of go through that a little bit and we'll talk about it. Basically, so here's a screenshot of what it would do. So if you're at a qualification stage and the timeline equals immediate, we will go directly to the proposed stage. So it will bypass a couple of extra features. So depending on what values are selected here, we can basically go to a new stage. We can bypass the stage so you're going over quickly. We could do the same thing with specific products. So if it hit a certain product, we can actually have a new stage specifically for that one product show up. The next thing we'll cover is products within CRM. So they now have the ability to bundle products. You can have a family of them, and you can do suggestions. So for those who have ever done an opportunity or a quote in the CRM system and you've done products, usually you just pick a product, you pick a quantity, you pick a price, you're done. Well, now they've taken it to the next level saying, well, now we're going to have a family. So if you pick maybe like a large dog, and you're like, okay, well, what type of breed do I want from that dog? I can select the types of breed. Then you could pick the type of color. So it's not a very robust configurator, but you could use it in a small way of that within the tool. But we'll go through a demonstration. You guys can kind of see how some of that new product enhancement will work for you. Over here we just have a screenshot of suggestions. So that's also a big thing. So if I'm selecting Office 365 for mid-sized business, well, you know what, I'm going to suggest something. So the suggestion comes up of using CRM. Because if you have Office 365, the next thing you would be interested is using a CRM product on top of that. So we're going to give a suggestion to the user. So if you're on the phone with the customer or you're talking with them face-to-face, you can then talk about a suggestion that would be helpful to them. And they might go, you know what, I'd really like to do CRM online. Let's go for it. Okay? tablet enhancements. So whether you're using Windows 8, iPad, Android, definitely have a lot of your information. So we've increased the flexibility. Role tailoring dashboards, analytics, all off the tablets. They also have the ability to have offline drafting new records. So if you're on the plane, you're traveling, you're on phones, you want to keep track of that information, it'll do offline drafts. Now, once you get to a wireless connection or some sort of connection, it will then synchronize the data and update it, but you can create that opportunity, you can create that task record, and as soon as you have activity, it'll push it in there. It will allow you to see some information that's in the CRM system. It's not going to download everything, but if recent activities and recent accounts, it'll show up on your tablet that you've been working on because you don't want your tablet to be full of lots of CRM data that you may not have access to. Just a little screenshot of some of the changes. You've got your dashboards. You guys can basically pick, select your dashboards, do some enhancements on that. Whether you're on a Surface or an iPad, they look the same. There's no difference between them. Microsoft tried to make it as smooth as possible. All right. So now there's a new thing I'd like to talk about, and we actually have a video of it. So I don't really have a demo, but there's a really good 2-minute video that I'm going to play for you guys. Hopefully it'll come through the audio just fine. If not, we'll definitely send you guys the links. So with CRM 2015, if you guys have a Windows 8 phone with the Windows 8.1 and you have Cortana, Cortana is similar to Apple's Siri. Basically, it's voice to text, voice to speak. You can actually integrate the voice with Cortana to create records in it. And you can actually use all this, and you can track emails and track your phone call. I just had a cell phone call. I want to track that information into my CRM system. With the current version of 2015 and Cortana on the Windows Phone operating system, you have that ability. Now, I've read that Microsoft will update and make this work on Apple and the Google and all the other devices in about a year. But as of today, only the Windows operating system will work. But it is coming for future phones. All right, so I have a video. We're going to see if this will work. I will turn on my speaker and we'll take a look.
I've got so much to do, but I totally underestimated the traffic. Thanks to Cortana, I know this is going to take me 24 minutes. I got to close this deal. I got to get going. Hey, thanks for stopping. Traffic is terrible. I just looked at Cortana, but because she's awesome, she gave me the best directions to get there quickly and safely. Let's get out of here.
After 0.1 mile, turn right onto Lakeview Drive and then turn right.
You gotta love it when you're prepared for sales meetings like that and they go so well. But I've got to follow up. CRM. Remind me to send the roadmap to Paul Alcorn.
Creating task.
That's so awesome, but I've got this vibration in my pocket. You know what that must be. I got an email on my other device. Just like you guys, we have multiple devices. And I see this one's going to cause me a little bit of trouble. I don't know how many of you have had this happen, but it looks like I'm getting a little bit of a curveball with that other deal. I can actually choose to just follow up right within CRM. The system's going to ask me if this email regarding this opportunity, and I can say yes, which will add that to the deal. So simple, but I didn't know who Bob Hoke was. I want to add that contact to CRM. Look how easy that is. So now just from the phone, all the mobility capabilities, I get to do that. But just wait, it gets better. Siri, text Eric Bukock. Remind him to follow up at CRM. That deal just threw us a curveball. Perfect. You gotta love mobility, and you gotta love having great context about your deals.
Okay, so that was like a video that Microsoft had produced. I thought I'd show you guys. If you want to see or get a link to it, we definitely can show you. It's on YouTube. but it's basically just a demonstration of how the new functionality of 2015 will work with your phone, because a lot of people are very much, they travel, they're always on the phone. It's a great way of still using the CRM and being mobile. Okay, so let's talk about some case management. So with case management, they've added the new ability to do a service level agreement that tracks the analytics of first response and your case resolution. So it keeps track of time. So if you have a service level agreement to say, within so much time of a case being created, I need to keep track of that, and I want to do analytics against my customer service. CRM will actually now show you the time and whether that person is on track or they're behind or they're delayed, and they can see all this information. So in the example we'll give today, a lot of my timers are very, 1 minute, 2 minutes, but you can make them days, weeks, months, however you want to, but the user can see the time. So if they miss it, it'll be a red X, and then of course you can always send emails if they miss it and start alerting people. And we'll be able to define some of that, and we'll also go through some of the entitlements within CRM to say this account record will have the ability to have so many cases by certain types to be identified that we really would go through. So we can do some of that, we can play with it and do some examples. Okay, so I've got a picture to kind of get you guys going through it. So we've got our enhancements with our SLA. We have to be able to see, the first response was a success. You can also allow your team to pause it based off of criteria on the case. So if the status goes on hold, I'm going to pause it because maybe I need to talk to my manager, maybe I need to go talk to somebody about something. I don't want it to go against my SLA. So we can pause it by statuses within the CRM. We don't give the user the ability to pause the case, but we can do it based off of status. So if we're waiting for a follow-up from a customer, we can pause that. But if I'm doing research, we're on the phone, we're talking about it, that's all going to go against the SLA. Okay, so search. We definitely talked a little bit about that. So one of the new enhancements in 2015 is the ability to use global search. Normally, in 2013, if you're going to do a search, you have to basically go to that entity, type in what you're looking for, and say, yep, it's not in the contacts. All right, then I'm going to go to my leads. All right, nope, it's not in my leads. I'm going to go to my accounts. Hey, I found it in my accounts. Now with the global search, it will search all of the entities that you select, like accounts and contacts and leads and cases. You can choose to pick tasks, appointments, emails. You get to pick and choose of what you want to search. And your search definitions are the same. So for those who have defined your search definitions, it utilizes those, but it goes across all entities. Here's a picture that'll show it. So right up top in the ribbon bar within the web version, I can see you can search for Nancy Starr. It'll search everything that matches it, so great way of searching it. And then we'll go over here to the next screen that says, oh, it found contacts, it found leads, but you can also refine the filters based off of certain entities. But you can see that it goes across multiple, or you can define, well, I really want to look at contacts, and the search will do the contacts for you. But the global search will go across multiple entities. All right, so now let's go through and do a demonstration. So we'll go through that, and if you guys have questions, let us know, or we can definitely follow up with you guys afterwards. We're happy to help. All right, so we are now on my presentation, so we're going to go through and do some demonstrations, and we'll talk about that. So the first thing is, first thing is we want to do the search. So it's, again, right up here, we have the ability to do the search. So I'm going to search for, let's do adventure. So I'm going to hit enter on my keyboard, and I'm going to search everywhere that matches the word adventure or whatever criteria I have. I have accounts, I have contacts, I have leads. Wow. How easy was that? Typically what you'll have to do is you'll have to go to the accounts. So here's the old way. Go here, go to accounts, go here. Search for adventure. Okay, I found one. Then I could go to my contacts, and I could do the same, or I could just type in, go up top. Wildcard still works the same, so if I did star, works. Does the same thing, found everything I word contains works. I can do, if I forget the A in adventure, I could do asterisk D, V-E-N-T. Does the same search. So the asterisk works the same. All right, so it's pretty easy. You can change your filter, contacts, accounts. Now the plus right here basically says, you know what, I'm just going to create a new record from here. So even if you search for something you can't find it, they've given you the functionality of creating a new one. And to quickly configure this, I'll show you. If we go to settings, settings will go under administration, system settings, and then if we go down here on the general page, there is a quick search, select entities for search. You just basically select the entities you want it to search on. So if I add entities, it'll basically search those entities, and I can, pick and choose which ones I want. Very easy. All right, so that kind of covers searching. Let's talk about the guided process. So we're going to take a look at the guided process under settings and processes. We're going to open up my opportunity sales process. And let's go ahead and deactivate this one just so we can make some changes if we need to. So I've got my qualify stage. Here's my steps. Got my proposed stage, my steps. I've got my develop stage. And then what I've done here is we've added a branch. So if the customer need is checked, so contains data, I'm going to add a new stage called develop 2 and require that the actual revenue be populated. And then after that we go back to our close stage. If this is never checked, the develop 2 will never come in. So this gives you the power to allow branching. So you can build a very nice complex sales process, but to your sales team it's very simple. So depending on certain products you can do this. Now in the 2013 way, we've had to trick the system and do a couple weird things, but now we have the ability to do this, and it's very graphical. You can even print this information and use it as documentation, but it's a great way of adding branches to go down certain paths. Let's go through and we'll go through and test this, make sure it works. We'll activate our process. Okay. So we'll go to CRM, sales, opportunities. And one thing you've probably noticed by now, and I really haven't brought it out, but it looks very similar to 2013. So as far as adoption and training, there's very little you'll have to do with your teams. Most things that you're going to have to focus on is really utilizing the new functionality. And you can pick and choose what you want to use. Now, global search, no-brainer, easy to do. Want to do it. The business processes, you can pick and choose. The products, you can pick and choose. The mobile, it's just there and available. And there's a lot of other hidden areas that they've made some enhancements to, and you can pick and choose. So for those who are deciding, do I upgrade, do I not upgrade, it's going to be a very smooth upgrade process within it, and we can always help you at Affiliate if you have questions. But as far as training with the users, very simple to use. All right, so let's go ahead and open up a product opportunity. And for those who have ever noticed, Microsoft has loved changing colors. First time this came out, I think it was yellow, went to orange, went to green, now it's blue. I don't know why, but they just keep changing colors, but that's okay. It happens. Maybe just to let you know that something has changed. All right. So we can see here, if we look at this one, if I go to my propose and I see my develop, you can see there's a customer need. Because this is selected, take a look at it. My develop is now populated. So it has been selected. If we go through, let's just create a new opportunity real quick. Call this test. And then I can view my record. You notice now there's no develop to. The other one had a develop to, but now this process does not. So I'm going to go through my next stages pretty quick. I'm going to go to my develop, and I'm going to say customer need. We'll say, yes, they have a need. Look how quickly the develop to populates. All I did was add some data. I didn't even save the record, and it showed up instantaneously for me, and I can go to my develop, and I can actually put in my actual revenue. So as you guys have data in your steps, because again, these are stages, these are steps, depending on what steps you have, we can do branching. So think of all the possibility. If I have 2 divisions, not a problem. If I have products that require additional work, or if we have them at the qualify stage and I say, you know what, their estimated budget is a certain dollar range, or if I've identified a certain things, you know what, I'm going to skip propose and go directly to develop. We can do that as well too. So just think of the possibilities, and that's what some of this functionality will give you. All right. So since we're on an opportunity, we'll stay here. I'm going to go scroll down to the bottom. I'm going to take a look at products. Now I have a lot of this set up, and we'll go through it as well. All right, first thing I'm going to do is I got to pick a price list. Just like with any product, I have to pick a price list. Nothing's really changed in that. So I'm going to go through here, and I'm going to pick Office 365 sample. So I've got Office 365. I've got my revenue. We'll just make it system calculated, so it'll calculate for me. I'm going to go through here, and I'm going to grab an existing product. We'll do a search. I'm going to do a lookup, though. But let's see, which one do we want? We're going to go with the Office desktop. We're going to select that guy. And I can say, great, I've got my Office selected over here. My price, my quantity, my discount, I got inline editing, can change some stuff. And you probably notice we've got this edit button here. All right, so I can take a look at the edit. Well, then over here, if I pick the Office desktop, how many accesses are we going to get based off this information? You can build products that require you to fill in additional information, and I'm going to show you that in a second. But over here I have suggestions. I'm going to click on suggestions. It's going to go through here and say, well, these will give you your options. You can do some cross-selling. You could do some accessories. You could do some upselling. You could do some substitution. You can go through here and pick and choose values that you want. We can go through here. We can add some stuff. I'm going to show you one more thing we can look at. We'll look at CRM online. Well, if I look at this one, my edit button is now red. What that tells me is I need some additional information. So I can go through here and click Edit. Well, whenever you're setting up a new CRM system, you're going to want to know what their organization is. So we can call this, ARG for affiliated. What's their language? What's their users? Are they going to be professional? Are they going to be enterprise? Are they going to be standard? You can put in a URL if you know it, and we can say done. So now over here we have more information. So depending on as you guys do some information in here, we can add some additional information. So now that I know that they are a standard segment, their organization in here. We can go through here and add some suggestions. You know what? A lot of times, because we do CRM, we want to focus and we're going to create a SharePoint integration because we want to store documents in a SharePoint document repository outside of the CRM system. So we're going to pick that one. We're going to say add to list. Now I have my SharePoint as well added to it because I did my CRM online. I can also see if there's any suggestions. Well, you know, if you're going to pick SharePoint, you might as well go with some other things like maybe link. So we can continue adding more. We can change the quantity. And the values change and the revenue up here is changing. So all of this data is in real time. You can hit the trash can to get rid of it. But all this information is going to be in here for you guys. So this is the way of basically grouping your products, giving you suggestions, bundling some information. We've got some lots of information that we can do in here. So let's show you how you would build some of this. So this is all going to be under the settings, and then settings under the product catalog. And then we've got a new thing called families and products. So before it's usually called products, now we have families and products. So over here you can see we can have the ability to add families, add products, add bundles. So if we look over here and we see that, look, here's our CRM services. So I could take a look at my CRM services. We've got our name, we've got our products, and then over here we have our properties. So this is information that maybe you want your sales team to ask before they would quote something because you need that information. So it's kind of like a configurator, but you would say, you know, what's their base language, what's their max users, what's their organization name, segment, standard to pick list value, subscription days. So we have the power to build all this information right in here. So it's very simple, but you can see it's linked to the Office 365 services. So I can click on that. And then over here we've got the subscription, we've got the URL, we've got the details. So we can see how the two will link because when you're doing an Office 365, these are the data that you would have in here. Let's go back to products. So you can kind of see how that is. The challenge with some of this information is you're probably going, well, this is kind of hard to tell what's what, where are things, how do I organize it, how do I see some information. So what you can do is they've now created a graphical way of you seeing the hierarchy path. So if I go to the Office 365 desktop and I say View Hierarchy, I can go through here and I can see the hierarchy between these. So if I've got an Office 365, I have an Office desktop for mid-size, so I can see the two are underneath each other. So we can see it this way. Let's see a different way. Let's go to our CRM and see. So within here, we have Office 365 services. Under that, we have CRM, we have Exchange, we have Link, and we have one more over. We have SharePoint. Underneath the CRM services, we have CRM Online Professional. So not only do we build these products with hierarchies, CRM will give you a graphical way of seeing your hierarchy. So this is also new within the CRM system. You can use this for accounts. You can also use this for an org chart within your own CRM system. Now, I'm the only one set up under this, so I really can't demo that one for you guys. But as you build your managers report to these people, you can actually build a hierarchy to see it because, again, a picture is worth 1,000 words. If I take this, I can see if I select this product, I'm going to have these suggestions underneath it, this information in here. So I can organize my products in a certain way so as we select the information, it's going to show it for you. So it's a great way of seeing this information for you on the product side. Okay? All right, so the next thing I want to show you is case management and how it's definitely improved. So we'll go under CRM and services. We'll go to services, and then we'll create a case. All right, so you can see all of our active cases. We can see all the cases. Okay, so what over here, we can create a brand new case. We're going to create this brand new case. And again, you can have your sales process on your cases just like you would. So case title, we're going to say it's phone support. My customer will be a datum. Then over here I can add some where to come from. You know, we're going to say Twitter. I guess it's phone, so we'll go with phone. Contacts. These contacts are related to this company, so I could say it was Renee. My entitlement, I can pick my entitlement. So what is an entitlement? Entitlement will allow you to use in the CRM system a way of saying how many times I can support this person. How many times did they do on the phone? How many times do we give them Twitter? How many times they do Facebook? So if you are a call center and you say, you know what, I'm going to give you a support agreement. You're allowed 10 phone calls, 50 emails, and you can tweet as many times as you want to. You can build that in the entitlement so you can find out on a customer how are they doing towards that. So if they're over it, are they missing it, it's a way of seeing statistics on there, because if they've done more phone calls and you pick this entitlement, CRM will say, you know what, whoa, they've exceeded it. What do you want to do? At that point, you can maybe say, you know, there's a charge after that because there's additional calls people are making. So the entitlement will keep track of that information. Over here, we'll see recent cases. So, you know, maybe I've got relevant information, some recent cases that I've had activities with. So it's a great way of seeing that. I can see my entitlement's been added. Okay. I can see my case relationship. So do we have similar cases, merged cases, and child cases? Because a lot of times if you have an issue with one product, you're going to get multiple people with that same product in there, so you can link them all together. We could say, oh, does this have a similar case? It'll pop up in a brand new window, and we can start searching. Let me scroll down just a little bit, try to get a little more real estate. I can see similar cases. I can search for those, and as I search for those, I can see what the case resolution was. So then I could select, does this case match what I'm looking for? Oh wait, this is similar. So then I could say, have you tried this, this, and this? It's a great way of having your case resolutions be a way for you to identify and give to the customer quick resolutions. That's a great way of building a knowledge-based article. Here's the SLAs. I kind of want to show you a little bit. And you can see, guess what? They're starting to tick. So what this is going to say is I've built my SLAs to fire in my first response. I have 5 minutes to identify my first response. And I've got 1 minute, 57 seconds and counting. My status changes near non-compliance. My failure time, my warning time, all this information can be in here. If we want, I believe, if we flag it to hold, our record gets saved. I've now paused my timers. Because I put my status on hold, my status has been paused. So now I can go do something. Maybe I've got to talk to my manager. Whatever, I can still be within my SLA because of the rules I've built per my company. So I'm going to put it back to in progress. It saves. Uh-oh. Now it's turned yellow. I better hurry up. You can see these fields say pause, but that's fine. We can refresh the list. Yep. So we're going to let this one fail so you guys can see what the failure would look like. You can see it's near non-compliant. We guys have a few more seconds, and then we can basically, you'll see that the response will turn to a red. Oh, now it's turned red, and my timer is now counting up. So now this will tell me I missed it completely, but that's okay. I could still fix my, meet my resolve time frame, but I completely missed it. So again, these are statistics you can use to see how well your call center is working, or your support sign, or anything you want to use cases for regarding the enhanced SLA. So I'm going to go ahead and resolve this case. Problem solved, information provided, talk to customer about solution. Can add remarks if I wanted to, but we're going to hit resolve. As soon as I hit resolve, all this stuff will go through. It's a little weird on the refreshing. So we'll refresh so you guys can see. My case has been resolved. I can look at my SLA. My first one expired, but my second one was succeeded. So I met my SLA when it meant to resolving this service case in a certain time frame. So I was able to meet that information. So let's go through and let's talk about how we built this. So there's probably what you're wondering as well too. So let's go through that. So the first thing we'll do is we'll go under settings. And under settings we're going to go to service management. Now service management has been changed and it's got a lot of automation in here. So I'll go through this just a little bit so you guys can understand. We have queues. This has been around for a while, but basically as queues get processed, you can grab an item, you can accept ownership, and you can do things. Well, we can also do routing of rules. So if a creation or deletion or a process change, we can route certain things. We can define our parent-child case settings, so depending on how things get inherited from the parent to child. We also have our automatic case creation rules. Now this is really neat, where if a new case, or let's say you have an email address that says issue@affiliatedresourcegroup.com. You guys send an email to that. I've got it, my email router processing that will automatically go to a queue. The email gets created, but depending on which queue it goes to or which information I want, I can basically create a case directly from that email. So I don't have to take the extra step and process it and create it. I can automatically create the case. When I respond to info@affiliatedresourcegroup.com, my responses, as long as the subject is the same, it will automatically update that existing case. So very cool. So we have over here our service level agreements. We have our entitlements. So we're going to go through those. We have holiday schedules, which days are you off. Customer service schedule, so if you guys are big on using the customer service module and you want to track and see some information, you can actually schedule people. Just configurations, and of course we have some templates, business closures. We have our services that would tie to your service calendar, facility sites, resource groups, all these things are basic service scheduling, and they've been around for many of the iterations. So let's go through and really quick talk about entitlements. All right, so I've got one entitlement in here. So let's take a look at what I did. Okay, so the first thing I did was, you give it a name and you pick a customer. So you have to build each entitlement for each customer because each customer has different rules depending on what you've sold them. Of course, you can do a mass upload if you've got similar of them. What's their range? Because maybe they only bought it for 3 months. Maybe they bought something for 6 months or a year. How long are you going to allow them to get cases resolved in a timely manner? Okay, so then you can give it a SLA, so the timer and the ticker. Restrict based off entitlement terms, you can do that, yes or no. Allocate type, this is number of cases, so the allocation is based off the number of cases. It decreases on the case creation. You can change it to case resolution because maybe you're saying, I'm only going to allow these to reduce based off the resolution, not based off the creation. So you guys can pick and choose which ones you like. My total terms and my remaining is all based off of my channel. So I'm allowing them to send 25 emails, 25 Facebook posts, 25 phone calls, and 25 through the web. So depending as things get deducted, these will then deduct and go through here depending on what I have remaining. So how many emails, Facebooks, phones, and webs will get subtracted, and I can see that my remaining total is 97, and that's what the customer is allowed. So if you ever need to give a report to a customer, so if you say, every quarter you get X amount of information, but every month we're going to have a meeting, we're going to go over this, we definitely can give them this information as a report. You can specify certain products that go with this entitlement to say, for my gold level products, it's this one, my yellow, it's this, my green, it's this. You can define these entitlements as based off products as well too. And who has the power from contacts to utilize this entitlement? Because maybe you may have 10 people in the company, but only 3 people are allowed to call in for a case or an issue. You can pick and choose which one you want. It's a great way of building all this information. So now we'll go into our standard SLA. So again, service management, service level agreement. And I have my one right here called standard SLA, because this is my standard one that I have. So let's deactivate it. So you give it a name. You can define the business hours. So let's say the standard is between 8 and 5, but then after 5 o'clock, we now go into a higher level SLA because it's out of normal business time. So maybe the duration is longer because, again, people are eating dinner, they're on the phone, it takes a while to get to it, or people are at their desk 8 to 5, so you can build different SLAs depending on hours through the business hours as well. Okay, over here we have our details. So let's go ahead and open this guy up. We'll take a look. Okay, so what I have in here is basically a query. So my first name is my first response. So first response by my KPI, and I can define the criteria. Applicated when, if it's blank, it's just any case. But you can define and filter. And then the success criteria. At what point do you see the success happening? So when the first response sent checkbox is yes, then I have met the obligation defined by my first response. I can also define a success action. So when this is yes, I want to email the customer. I can do that. I can then email the customer. I can notify them. I can do something on the successes. I don't have it in this one, but you can always build it. Typically, you'd probably go through and send an email, or you can create a case or update some information if you wanted to. What happens if we fail? Okay, maybe I want to email my boss. So anytime I fail to meet these, we can do some other activities of emailing managers, emailing directors, bosses, whoever you guys want. We can define that within the SLA item failure. We can also do the warning. So what's the warning? So you can send an email to the owner of the case saying, look, you're about due, please review this. Now, I've defined these as 1 minute, 5 minute, but realistically you probably want to define it differently. Now, these are all here. You can pick and choose, like this says 8 hours, but you can go through and do 9. Should let us, yep, 9 minutes. And then you could say hours. So just because there's a drop down, you can actually free type what the duration would be. So you can say 9.5 hours, you can say 12 hours, so half a day. Failure is in warning after 6 hours. So you could define it to say, you know what, we're going to email the owner if this SLA is in warning. We're going to email the manager if it's failed. So you guys can pick and choose your duration. I pick 1 and 5 because it's a little easier on demoing. I'm not going to say that. So the next one we take a look at is closure. So I'm going to defining on when this is resolved by. So you can have multiple responses in here. So just because I've got it as far as my first response, you can have second, third, fourth. You can build as many as you want. I just kept it simple from the demonstration point of view to say what's my first, what's my last. This one basically says where status equals canceled or resolved. You can define it to say it's only unresolved. So if they cancel it, they're going to do something else. Same thing, what happens on the success, what happens on the failure. I've got it to 15 minutes and 5 minutes. So again, you guys can change the duration of however you want to. So this is how I originally built my SLA. So it's actually not terribly too hard. Just give it a name, pick some parameters in here. We can do some details. Pretty easy. And activate it. So that'll pretty much cover the case management aspect of it. I'll go through a few more kind of changes in the CRM system. One of the other changes that they've done is they've done the advanced find right here. No matter where you are, the advanced find button is available and great, very easy to use. Nice little feature there. Quick create, still about the same. Dashboards are about the same, so nothing really has changed too much in those. You guys can still build your dashboard. You still have your what's new, some other information that's in here. Accounts, contacts, a lot of your pages look the same in here. So there's a lot of minor changes. There's a lot of big changes. The Outlook client, I'm not showing that today. There's been some major enhancements on the Outlook clients for help with tracking, and you can actually configure your syncing a little bit more powerful. Let me show you that one real quick. You can do it at an administrative level, and the users can pick and choose which fields of which records they want to sync and what to sync. So if we look at system settings, of course, social listening, which we'll cover next topic. Again, server-side sync. There's synchronization. You can manage your filters. You can manage the synchronized fields. So this is going to be new for you with the synchronization. So not only can you manage which Outlook records you want to do, this is at a global level, but the users can do the same thing. The users can define which fields they want. Maybe they only want subject and description. Maybe they just want subject to come across. They don't want description, or they want some other field to come across. You guys can pick and choose which fields you want to synchronize. So you can synchronize appointment attachments, so that's brand new. So you can actually do attachments within appointments. So you can synchronize all 3 addresses, business, home, and other, because right now it only does the primary one in 2013. And synchronize tasks that are assigned in Outlook, you can pick and choose. So you have the power to pick and choose a lot more synchronization aspects than you've had before. A lot of other things have been about the same. marketing same, email, you got server-side sync to what you want to do. You do auditing. Again, over here to do the quick find. Integration out of the box is Skype and Link. And then over here, let's talk really quick about this regarding the help URL, and then we'll call it a day. So the last thing I'll talk about is the custom help URL. Typically, a lot of times when we do training, we'll create user guides, we'll do training materials, and then 6 months later, they've hired new people, people have left, more people have hired on, so it's changed since last time. So you can build a help URL. So if I'm on the account entity and I'm like, well, what do I need to do? If you go to the help, which is the cog up here that says help, you can go help and you can go about, and it's not going to take you to the out-of-box Microsoft help. It's going to take you to your custom help. It can go to a web page that you guys can control. We could put the data in CRM using web resources. You can have it append to a parameter, so if it's some value that's there, it can change depending on there. So if it's, you can say the global is just, it goes to your help page, and from there you'll have accounts and contacts, leads, opportunities. It's all defined for your own personal use. Or you can make it dynamic to say, oh, if it's, if I'm on the account entity, take me directly to the accounts. If I'm on the contacts, take me directly to the contacts. So you can define how you want to build them, and for custom help for custom entities as well too. So, all right. Well, that's the last thing we're going to cover on what's coming in 2015. For those who are online and trying to decide, you will have the ability to pick and choose what day you want to go with. If you have questions, we're happy to help. If you are on premise and you want to upgrade to 2015, just reach out to us. We can definitely help you. It's a very minimal one. If anybody's on CRM 2011 and choose to upgrade to 2015, that's fine. We're going to have to create an upgrade path to make sure everything is compatible. But we have done it in the past, but there is no direct path from 2011 to 2015. So we will have to upgrade to 2013 really quick and then go straight to 2015. For your users, they wouldn't know anything but the new stuff that comes through. So if you have any questions, please reach out to us or James. Definitely James. He'll definitely be able to help you. This is our basic one, but if you have any questions, you can always reach out to James. James will follow up with everybody with an email. Again, if you have questions, he definitely is the first point of contact, and then he'll come reach me, and we'll be there to support any needs. Next month, we're doing social listening. The month after that, I'm not remembering, but we've got it all posted on our website. You guys can definitely check it on our website and post. We should be working on second quarter's webinars and best practices that we plan to utilize. Everything will be on our website, so feel free to register as early as you can, and we'll see if we have any questions.
Yep, thank you everyone for attending. And again, as Stephen mentioned, my name is James, and what I would really like, I've had the chance to speak with a couple of you on this webinar. If you have any ideas or things that you face on a day-to-day basis with Dynamics that you think would be a good topic for one of our webinars, we'd really like to get your feedback. Again, these are for you, and we want to make this a good use of your time as well. So thanks again, and I'll reach out soon with an email, and if we can help with anything, please let us know.